Good. Dan, get off the damn phone. We're trying to record a podcast.
Trying to keep up with my notes.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
All right, guys, back again, Out the Top, episode 21. We're coming to you from Indian Mountain Park in Piedmont, Alabama. We're down here for Ride for a Cure. I think this is the 6th annual Ride for a Cure event. Right. Been coming down here for a few years now, so good to be back. Got Dan back with us.
Hello.
After a eventful weekend at Rush.
Right.
And just listen, we're going to tell some stories today. Then we're going to get Tony Ramos from the Southern Bounty Series and Highlifter over here. He's going to talk to us in a little bit, but we're going to let you know a little bit about why we're not in Rush Springs.
Right.
With the National Rock Racing Association. So do we want to back up like at Rush?
Well, we can give kind of a recap, but to actually, I guess, spread more light on the situation was we had a tumble in West Virginia that busted the engine case on the pink buggy, which is the only buggy that we're running this year other than the full body for the stock class. So the next race after that, we were running the full body at Hawk Pride, and we opted to just run the full body for the Bounty, Cup, and stock class. So we knew that the full body was going to have a rough weekend at Hawk Pride. So we ended up unable to stay on all fours. We ended up busting a radiator, stuff like that at Hawk Pride. So we were only able to just break the beams, and it just slowly put us out of the points gap, or further the points gap.
Yeah, we were on that teeter line,
right?
Anyways, and then after that, it was just
right.
Yeah.
So we kind of recouped, got the buggy sorted out. On the way to Rush, we went to Rock Life, and you guys worked tirelessly to help get us back going for Rush for the anniversary. Well, I say the anniversary bash, but that was not what it was.
The end of SummerSlam.
It was end of SummerSlam. Yeah. So we went there and we had a pretty good weekend. Other than Hill won in UTV Bounty, we ended up busting the transmission in the pink buggy. So we have already gotten an engine block at this point, and then now a transmission case. So when people like me race, we obtain any kind of used parts that we can just for financial gain. So
junkyard dogs.
So yeah, we're no shame being a junkyard dog, but that's what we have to do to stay to where we can race. But after that, I just felt like it was just taking so many blows and took kind of the steam out of me. So I went ahead and felt like it just wasn't in the cards for us to keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, so I had made previous. I wasn't going to go to Rush Springs anyways. Just it's a little far for me.
Right.
So I'd made plans to come here to this event. Jeremy Reeves had contacted me back in the spring, and we made commitments to come. So we were coming here anyways. So after we got to talking about our situation with the buggies and whatnot, we tried to let you have a good, easy, mellow, hey, we're not racing anything serious, we're just here to have fun.
Right.
And then that took a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were going to come here with just the premise of having a relaxed weekend, and I got talked in last night to sign up for the barrel race, and I told them when we signed up, I said, we've got to go to L&W for a meeting, and if I'm not back before you guys start, race without me. I feel like it was going for a good cause, so yeah. we kind of opted out of the barrel racing for last night, and then I was like, well, I may do some of the stuff in the Coliseum today, may do the knockout or the hill climb, stuff like that, and woke up this morning to it pouring down rain, and I'm just not all up for keeping everything spick and span and having to go home and wash everything. And I think the older I get, the more I'm thinking long term. Like, hey, we don't have to wash every single thing we own. We just have to wash. Right now, it's just the Grom, the little mini bike.
Well, it's
bike.
just, we talked about it. It was just, this was supposed to be one of those weekends where you just come hang out any damn ways.
Right.
And, of course, he's not telling the whole story. He had a little trouble getting all the buggies back together to get here. Went to leave to come here. Semi threw a fit again.
Right.
Had to switch everything out of the semi-trailer into the other trailer. It was just a big... I told him he should have stayed at the damn house. I wouldn't have even came here. But it's turned out to be just an old rainy weekend, but we've hung out here at the trailer. We did get to go. How much do we want to talk about that?
I'm not ready to let the cat out of the bag yet.
All right.
So stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned. We got some news coming
for that news.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been it's an ongoing process, and I would love to do just an episode on that in the future of how it transpired, what all happened, and maybe just touch light on that.
Yeah, we'll get into that down the road a little bit, hopefully. So today is Saturday. We usually record on Tuesday nights, put it out on Wednesday. Today is Saturday. This is still going to come out probably Tuesday, Wednesday. So bear with us here while we make up time.
Right.
Today's Saturday. We did get to watch some of the live feed from the National Rock Racing Association. Braden Upchurch, 4th straight podium in the stock class.
Sweet.
2nd place. Brandon's killing it. Clay has a podium in the cup class every event so far.
Right.
That's 8 in a row. Bounty class.
I'm thinking Mad Dog won that today. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm
For the moment, this is ongoing. At the time of this recording, we're still unsure, but we think Madison won the Bounty.
not sure who second and third, but I'm thinking that we saw on social media where Madison's mom had posted that she received a first place and a third place today. So or this weekend. So we are assuming that she was.
Well, she got third in cup. We know.
Right.
And then the big bouncers look like Cooper had an eventful time. That's somebody we need to get on here to talk about how his transition into the big buggy has been. He took his first real tumble, it looks like, today in the big buggy.
Yes, sir.
Jay Stortz, bless his heart.
He's got that Dan Carter luck.
I don't know how many motors in Ford Play
Right.
that this has been. And he's been running Showstopper, which, guys, that's Showstopper is an old buggy. That thing has been around forever. Spiegel, where that buggy came from, is real close to me, so we've known of him off and on for years. Of course, they had Showstopper 2.0, the turbo buggy.
Right.
And they were really good buggies when they built them in
back in the day.
2005 or whenever it was. That's a heavy old buggy, and he didn't have no luck with that thing today. I'll be glad to see him get Ford Play back out.
Right.
So hate we missed everybody in I don't know what the town is.
Pineview,
Missouri. Pineview, Missouri.
Pretty cool park. That's the park I was telling you about. That I'm not really quite sure how they do the cabin rentals, but I know that I think they do have some cabins, but some of their, I guess,
They're
Airbnbs
boats, ain't
are
they?
like cabin cruiser boats,
Yeah.
like that are just too old to fix up or whatever. And
That's so cool.
It's like they converted some of those into little cabin cruiser cuddy cubbers or whatever you call them.
Damn boats.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool little setup, and we've never really gotten to ride that park much, but there's some good trails there from what I hear, and of course the race area, that's where we focus on. But it's a good time. It's
one of these days we'll get back out there. I'd say we'll probably go back again next year with other news. We're losing Bikini Bottoms. This is our of course we've all heard it for the last several years that this is the last event at Bikini Bottoms, which it has been for sale ever since I've been going.
Right.
But I guess Bob has finally decided this is it. I don't know if he sold it. But we're losing Bikini Bottoms after this year, so we're going to have to find another park to go to.
Right.
Where do we go? The parks we are using, we need to kind of not cut ties with them. We need to find some more good to go. But I hope they replace Bikini Bottoms. Listen, we've said this from the first episode, and me and him was talking about it earlier. The only logical thing is to move the Bikini Bottoms race to Windrock.
Right. Got to keep it in Tennessee.
Got to keep it in Tennessee. Get back to we need to do 2 events a year at Windrock. Yes, it's close to home. Yes, I'm a homer. But man, that place, it always brings out a lot of one-off drivers.
Right.
We get a bigger car count there. It's closer to home for a lot of guys. So yeah, Windrock takes place at Bikini Bottoms.
Yeah.
Put that on the schedule. So today here at this park, and we'll be able to talk about this a little bit. Hopefully I'll get some information. We'll be able to talk about that in the rundown at the end of the show, which I will record later. But they're doing all kinds of races here. They're doing a stock class race. They're doing a UTV Extreme. There's bouncers here. Clint Garrison, Ethan Martin, I know, is here. Thomas Lohr's here running in the Extreme class. I seen Dylan Dowler is here. I think he was doing some barrel racing last night. So there's a big crowd here.
You want to drop the ball on who is running too that we're not really proud to see him run?
So
I mean, this is I've never really said, I've always wanted people to come and race, but this racer showed up today, and I was kind of disappointed.
I got a post, or I seen a post, or maybe I commented on a post on Facebook or something. I was like, hey, we're going to Indian Mountain, yada yada yada. DC Thompson, who mind you just broke his back at Rush, commented, hey, we may come hang out Saturday and see what's up. And I was like, dude, come on. If you're able to get out and walk around, come on. We'll watch some races. We'll hang out. You can stay with us if you need to, whatever. We'll make it work. So, sure enough, who shows up this morning? First person I see when I walk out the trailer. DC. What's up, buddy? Talk to him he tells us all his little hospital stories, which we have got to get him on here to tell those. Because, listen, they're funny.
Yeah, that'd be like, I guess we'd call that like the after midnight session.
That would have to be, I'd have to have my finger on the beat button the whole time. But it was, we'll have to get him on to tell those stories.
Right.
So we didn't know, we just thought he was here to hang out.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, they were getting ready to go have drivers meeting and stuff. DC's standing over here in his damn fire suit and his head and neck restraint, going to go race.
Yeah.
3 weeks removed from breaking his back.
Nothing but heart.
I threatened to go pull plug wires off his buggy, flatten his tires, do whatever. He's a grown ass man making grown ass decisions.
That's right. That's what that was the last thing that we said, was he's grown, he's making his own decisions, and I know he'd be mad at us for saying it, but I hope somebody's watching over him today.
I just hope he goes. I mean, and I'm not there. They're racing right now.
Yeah.
While we're doing this, they're racing
in the mud.
In the mud, mind you, because don't worry, National Rock Racing Association guys, we took the rain for you this weekend. Yep. So they're racing right now. I hope it's smooth. I hope he has just a smooth run, nothing major.
Right.
I really wish he wouldn't have raced, but
yeah,
that's just DC.
Yeah.
That's his BMX roots.
That's it.
His motorsports love, man. He just got to be out there in the thick of it. He can't sit at home. So, and he was telling us I guess since he's got out of the hospital, he's not slowed down a bit.
Right. No.
So I don't know. Maybe that's where he needs to be. But I hope it all goes well for him. Hope everybody. I hope it's uneventful, just in general. We are going to be able to go watch the big air tonight. We hope. That's going to be interesting. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah.
They just basically run out of that bowl just as fast as they can and shoot the damn things up in the air.
Right. And zero cares about what happens as soon as that machine gets airborne.
I just wonder how many of them will still hit it as hard as they do when it's Saturday night and it's not a sanctioned event.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have that extra encouragement that some of them may have during the normal weekends.
Yeah, some of the trail sodas may have been spiked and give them some encouragement and give them wings.
It's amazing what a few barley pops will do.
That's right.
Anyways, good time. We'll get Tony Ramos over here and let him give you some rundown on what's been going on with the Southern Bounty Series.
Right on. I didn't know they were going to be doing drag racing right behind. Like, it was quiet when we started, and then it's like, oh, they're recording the podcast.
All right, guys. Like I said, we got the man back, Tony. It's been a while since we got to talk to you back in the spring for the Top Trails event. How has things with Southern Bounty Series been going?
You know, we just finished one up at well, let me back up. We done a drag race over at Top Trails 3 weeks ago. To my knowledge, it's the biggest drag race that have been held.
Was it like $25,000?
$25,000 and $10,000 to the Outlaws.
Oh my goodness.
So we paid one man $10,000 first place prize. That went smooth. We had 54 drag racing entries, which ended up being a challenge because everybody got a first round buyback. And we was drag racing till midnight.
Oh, shit.
It was a good time. And then we loaded up, had a week at home, packed everything up, headed to North Branch, Minnesota for
That's what I was going to ask you about. Tell us a little bit about heydays. For most of our guys, nobody knows anything about that from where we're from.
Right.
You know, those guys, when they first reached out to me, they're like, we'd like for you to come to Minnesota and do a mud race. I was like, Minna what? No, I said, listen, that's way too far out of my realm. You know, you're talking about 22 hours of driving. That's just a little more than what we're willing to put into it. And he's like, no, just don't tell me no. Just take a look at it. And this guy by the name of Chuck Daly, he's pretty persistent about me looking at it. And he said, listen, this is a big show. And everybody knows me. I'm always trying to do something bigger. Right. More money, bigger crowds. You know, that's just the way we do it. And, you know, we set out to do the biggest events at the best parks. And that's just what we want to do with it. And he finally talked me into taking a look at them. And when I seen their stage, which a lot of you seen where we did the trophy presentation on the Arctic Cat stage there, you know, I was kind of sold from then on. Didn't nothing else matter to me. I just wanted stage. So,
well, that's the one thing I do like is you know, we catch the industry as a whole catches a lot of grief for payouts at some of these events and whatnot, and that's one thing we'll commend you for. Right. Is making sure that it's worth the trip for your people.
Yeah. For
well,
sure.
You know, in my opinion, when we started Southern Bounty Series, in order for me to win the fans, I first had to win the racers.
Yeah.
Right.
Without the racers, there is no show. Without the sponsors, there's not money there to do it. And, you know, I first had to win over the racers. As long as you're putting on a show, then you're going to win the fans. And, you know, so far, like with Top Trails, we had 30 days to promote that. We sold more tickets there than we did for Party in the Park last year. And we had 3 months to promote it. So, I mean, that just tells me that the fans are following us.
Right. Yeah. I was impressed. I didn't get to come over and watch when we were there. I didn't get to come over and watch much of it, but from what just the vehicles coming through the pits and coming through the vendor area, man, them guys, it's impressive what they've got and what they can do, what they build.
Right.
Some of those machines are just unbelievable. Dan actually got to go over and watch some of it.
Oh, that was a life-changing experience. And it almost really was. I don't remember who the girl was that took off and threw a rock. It hit right at my phone. Yeah. I have a TikTok video of that, but I mean, it was perfect. I was still standing over the side. Like I expected mud to be flying up. I mean, when she took off, it was not only like a rooster tail, it was like a mud bomb went off. And I think she got the fastest time of the day. But I mean, it was pretty cool just to experience that.
I just like the different, even like here, and I didn't get to go to the race event, some of this stuff. But just like it's a different atmosphere than what we're normally used to. Right. We see a lot of the same people, even a lot of the same fans at our events. Right. And just to get out and experience it from a different perspective, is cool to me.
I could tell like the camaraderie was still there, like what we share versus what you guys share. Like it's still there. Like I saw different teammates, which it was cool because all these different teams had on these team shirts. Like every one of them kind of shares like a. It's hard to explain, like the fishing shirts. Each team has its own color or whatever, and you would see people
just
jumping in.
like back here in the background, like what we've got. Right. So you see a lot more of that with his people.
Exactly, but I mean, you would see different, like 4 or 5 teams helping get these guys ready just to make one pass, and I mean, I got to hand it to you guys for doing that. I mean,
you know, most people, you know, in me racing. Right. If I beat y'all, I want to beat you because I beat you flat out.
Right. Well, that's the way it should be.
I don't want to beat you with a rule. I want to beat you because I had a part in my trailer that you could have made the pass,
Yeah.
and I didn't give it to you.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to beat you because that day I was better than you were.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that to me, that's racing. Last weekend at Haydays, I seen more broke belts than I'd ever seen at an event before, and there were people passing out belts. And then after day one, when all the smoke cleared, I'm just gonna call his name because he done an amazing job and just what he did for the rest of the racers. But Mr. Brian Fulcher with Team Momentum, he had his race trailer there. Everybody knew we were 20 plus hours out, and he goes in his race trailer, he slides the boxes out, said, "Hey, look, if there's anything in that box y'all guys can use it." We're talking about axle cups that are $230, $240.
Oh yeah.
RCV
Yeah.
and Turner axle boots, and he just give it to him.
Right.
He just give it to him and said, I don't want to win because you wasn't able to race.
Right.
And those guys, they raced on until 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Got patched up what we could to run, and they run. I want to win because I was better that day.
Right.
Well, and I want to step back for just a second. Like doing that, he can't do that. Just like you said, we can't put on the events without the racers and sponsors. He can't do that without help from other people too. It's just a giant community.
Right.
And the more businesses we get involved, and the more sponsors we get, the more stuff like that can happen.
That's right.
I don't know. It's good to see everybody help, and that's one thing that our bunch does as well. But man, the crowds you get.
Yeah.
You got to put on a show.
How many? Okay, Haydays. If you had to guess, how many entries?
In the park.
No, just like competitors in your events.
Oh, I didn't invite, but 37.
That across all classes.
Yeah, it was invite only race.
Okay.
So I was only allowed. Haydays is kind of a different animal than anywhere I've ever been. It's a small place. It's extremely packed. Like here where we're at.
Right.
This separation between me and you here,
Yeah.
there wouldn't be no separation.
Oh, right against each
Slam
other.
right on top of each other. You got to be there by a certain time. You can't pull out till a certain time.
Yeah.
They sell every inch of that place. It's only like 200 acres,
Oh shit.
and you take 300 vendors.
Didn't that start out as a swap meet?
It's what it is. Still is today.
that what it is?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it started out in 1966 as a swap meet, and then they got in. It's the world's largest snowmobile drag race, and some of those snowmobiles is running upwards of 150 miles an hour. 1,200 horsepower snowmobile.
We in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess-
We need to hit up Polaris for some snowmobile stuff.
You know, the thing about it was up there is all of us mud guys. We want to hurry up and mud race and go watch snowmobiles.
Yeah. And I think that's how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
you see the same stuff, and don't get me wrong, we love it. You see the same stuff, but it's so cool just to go
See something different.
do something different every
Yeah.
now and again.
And then them, our race run over a little longer on Saturday than it was supposed to, and naturally the crowd stayed with us.
Well, yeah.
It's something they'd never seen before, so it kind of restricted that crowd movement for a little too long, and kind of got my hands slapped about it,
Well,
But they wanted the crowd to move, and
Right.
and I held the crowd, I wondered how that was going to work up in Minnesota. When I first went up, they were pitching to me about me doing a show up there, and they were really nice. But anytime somebody's trying to do business with you, generally they're
Yeah.
nice. I wondered how is this really going to go. And I'm telling you right now, if you ever hear the phrase Minnesota nice, that's the truth to it. You get back there in the back country of Minnesota, out of town, and those people are just the warmest people I've ever met.
That's good.
I'd like to make the trip up there sometime. I'd like to do that. I'd like to be able to go to Crandon sometime and just
Right.
experience, that style of racing at that place. I'd love to go to Hammers. There's so many different big events that eventually, hopefully,
Right.
as long as you don't do it every year, keep saying, well, I'm going to go next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go next year. You can say that too many times,
Yeah.
and then you
Next year
don't get
don't
that
come.
chance.
Well, and it never gets any cheaper either. It's
No.
like, you check on shipping and stuff like that. It's always going to get pricier and pricier as the years pass.
It's
The great thing about Crandon is it's 3 hours from Haydays, and it's the week before.
Yeah.
So if you can manage 2 weeks
Yeah.
off,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you can go to Crandon. And
The
see
wheels
Crandon.
are done spinning in my head. Yeah, I've
can
done
catch
thought
both
about
of them.
that.
And Ultra Ford, they done a heck of a job up at Crandon. I got to watch some of that video, and that's always it's amazing the way they parade those machines downtown. I hope maybe one day to be able to be involved in something, you know, that spectacular
Right.
to something besides the off-road community, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's get
let's
get, you know, the average everyday person to watching and seeing what we do, and once they really realize just how much fun it really is and how much brotherhood's in it, then we take somebody that was first off a spectator and we turn them into an off-road enthusiast. And you know, without you know, I got the two 800-pound gorillas in the room. Super ATV. I got an Island Hard Lifter shirt right now. I can show y'all some pictures of my Super ATV shirts. They done went from black to a dull gray.
Yeah.
Just absolutely wore them out. But have a high lifter Super ATV on board. You know, those are the 800-pound gorillas in this space that we live in here. And you know, it talks to Can-Am and to Polaris. You know, sit down with Arctic Cat. You know, talking with them guys. Yamaha. I want to bring them all to it because, you know, my dream is to give away $1 million in a season.
Right.
I know everybody thinks that's crazy.
No, I don't think it's crazy. I think it's ambitious.
You know, they didn't ever think we was going to give away $250,000 in a season.
True.
We passed that way earlier this year.
Right.
We're going to get real close to $500,000 this year, and anybody that knows me knows that if I did it, I want to do it better next.
Right.
You know.
Well, and that's with anything. I think if you're not doing whatever you're doing to get better, to continue improving, then you're spinning your wheels. You're wasting your time.
Right.
There's always something you can change, improve on, and you know that stuff we've talked about on here is there's always evolution and always something that can be done.
Right.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, as long as you're moving forward and not
Yeah.
becoming stagnant,
Yeah.
you know, that's the ultimate goal. But like you said, you know, you started out wanting to do $250,000, now it's $500,000. I mean, what's next? I mean, it's got to be $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
it's, you know, you got to keep pushing for it.
Well, that's something, you know, we've talked about a couple times on here. I'd like to see, we used to have the Race of the Riches for us, and that was a big deal. That was, you know, they gave away like 6 razors one year.
Right.
Which, if you do the monetary value of that's a pretty good chunk.
That's right.
But we're trying to manifest an all-star race of some sort, you know, invite only, big payout. Doesn't have to, you know, it doesn't need to be. Clyde doesn't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Somebody needs to do it. But the call is there. But you got to, just like you said, you got to get the community involved in
That's
it,
right.
and you got to get the people in front of it to make it happen and make it. It's got to make financial sense, or it doesn't make sense.
So my marketing guys started working on our sponsors for the 2024 season, and naturally with anything, you know, the deeper you get into it, and I'm a North Georgia redneck, you know, I'm not the guy. Bad as I'd like to be, these things I'm strong with, seeing problems, I can see a problem before it happens. Damage control, I'm really good at damage control.
Yeah.
But as far as computers and, I mean, everything y'all done here, if y'all told me to set this up, we'd still be trying to do this podcast tomorrow.
Listen, I got a friend that told me I don't know about that.
So I'm just not the guy, but going back over all of our analytics between Southern Bounty Series, you know, and all of our social, and then the influencers that we have involved in what we're doing, and the racers we have involved in it. So we went back and compiled all that, and Ricky put that for me last week. He said, Tony, you ain't never gonna believe this. So what's that? He said, as of right now, we've reached over 90 million people in 2023.
Yeah.
Now,
Your all's YouTube is bigger than I thought it was,
Right.
I guess. But it's just because I wasn't in that circle. I wasn't, you
Right.
know.
and I want to expand, you know, we were in this Southern Bounty Series, but that's why I didn't call it Southern Mud Racing.
Yeah.
Right.
I left it as Bounty because, and I made a comment the other day on the live that if somebody wanted to stand around and watch it, we would race up a pine tree.
Hey.
And, you know, if we can find somebody to put money into it, that pine tree right there,
We'll do it.
and the fans will stand
We'll
around and
do
watch
it.
it, and they'll cheer them on. We'll race
We'll
up
do
it.
it.
That's right.
So to move this on into, you know, like the drag racing, you know, now we own the largest drag racing payout. To move it on into, you know, the hill racing, the last hill race we done, and you know, that was intended, that the drag race was intended on being a hill race until Clyde had a race that weekend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I didn't want to make the guys that were in the points
Yeah, could you
kind of choose.
You reached out to me and you're just like, hey, is there anybody? I was like, well, I don't know about that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just had to move it, and that's why it ended up being drag race. Just trying to respect everybody in the industry.
Right.
Well, and that's good.
I don't want to be known as the guy that just throws money on top of everybody.
Well, we run into that a few years ago. There were so many different series going on. Everybody was stepping on everybody's toes. There was too much going on, and it got watered down.
Right.
And now we're in that transitional period where it's starting to come back the other way. A couple of those series have moved on. Pro Rock's not a thing anymore. Straight Up's gone. Outlaws, not Outlaw. Point One is gone. So the herd of that is thinning a little bit, but we still need events.
Right.
But at one point it was everybody was stepping on everybody's toes. Drivers couldn't get to all the races, and nobody wanted to work together. So that was good, and it made sense for you too.
Oh yeah, the only way Southern Boundary Series makes money is through racer entry fees.
Yeah.
And we try to keep them low. I think even on the Outlaw class, for a chance to win $10,000 at Top Trail, it was a $250 entry fee.
Right.
For a shot at $10,000.
There's a couple series out there that like to do free entries and stuff like that, and everybody, and even some of you racers that are going to hear this, you're going to get mad at me. Entry fees should be a thing. It has to be a thing.
Right.
If you start doing free entries, because I've heard a lot of racers, without us, you don't have a show, we shouldn't have to pay.
Right.
But if you don't do entry fees, you'll have 100 people booked to come, and it'll be the day before, they'll give bad weather, and you're like, I'm staying home.
Right.
Well, and see, the thing about it is something we started last year and moved on into this year was just, at some of the races, we give away a raffle ticket. So you signed up for the race, and I give you a raffle ticket. Not meaning to give all my industry secrets away, but this is the way we did it. So I need to know what the racer value is to the park, because I keep my entry fees low because I understand the racers also have to pay to come into the parks.
Yeah.
That's why my entry fees are not higher than others. And then I don't want everybody being a racer on Friday coming in the park, and then come Saturday you got 6 people signed up, but then the park tells me, hey, wait a minute, I just let 180 people through the gate.
Right.
Where's all your racers at? And then it's my fault.
Yeah.
So we keep the entry fees low for that reason.
But they still have to be there.
Right.
I just don't think there's a feasible way around it.
What we did was we took raffle tickets, and I give each racer that signed up a raffle ticket. I said, this raffle ticket is worth $500 if I pull your number. What I need you to do is take the other ticket and you write down on the back of it how many people came in your party, how many people came with you. And the average number is about 530 people that came with the racers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take a park that's entry fee is $60 a head. Okay, so that's $30,000 that my racers paid and their friends and family paid to come into the park.
Right.
So if I want you to pay me $30,000 to come in, your entertainment just paid for that.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's why we're able to keep the money up in the races. We don't do it. Dan, I ain't got to tell you what it costs to put these things together.
Right.
You take a couple RCV axles and you blow 2 axles. If you're racing $1,500, guys, I hate to tell you, even with the win, you lost money.
Right. It gets old quick. We've experienced that this season. Like we talked about that earlier. Just what it costs. Not necessarily to get to a race, but when you start having breakdown after breakdown, it gets old quick.
Like with Brian Fulcher, he broke out literally a big tote that he couldn't even carry. He slid it across, and then we slid it out of the race trailer for the guys just to pick. And he told them, after opening up brand new RCV boots, giving them bands out of it, whatever they needed. And RCV's not sponsoring him that stuff. He's paying for it.
Yeah,
There's some parts companies out here that'll help the racers,
right.
And a lot of y'all think, well, they're sponsored this. It's really
well. We've talked about that too. You're sponsored enough to where you still have to spend money to get product.
Yeah,
that's
right.
We've had and this is something me and Dan have really worked on, is trying to get other companies involved with the drivers to try and offset some of this stuff. And you get companies that's like, hey, we'll give you this, but it still ends up you spending $5 or $6 grand,
right.
Like for us trying to run 3 cars.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the type of guy, let's just say High Lifter wants to give us tires and wheels or whatever it may be. we've got 3 cars. I'm not going to put your stuff on one.
Right.
I'm going to put it on all 3. So for us, that's even at a 50% discount. That's still a bunch of money we've got to spend. And so we've been really working on trying to get some more outside interest to try and help us out, because it's tough. It's tough even with sponsors. I couldn't imagine some of these guys that don't really work at it and try and get.
Yeah. Well, it's like we talked before. It's here's the sticker I need you to run on your car for your 10% discount.
Yeah.
And they're like all over it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are all over it just because.
And it is a help. It is a help if you don't have any help. But we've as drivers owners, everybody needs to band together on that and try and help each other. You know, if you've got contacts with people, share the knowledge.
Yeah.
It's only going to help everybody.
I was lucky enough last weekend at Haydays to have the president and the vice president of High Lifter with us up there.
Right.
So what I did was I didn't hide them in the lounge in my race trailer, and I could put them in there in air conditioning and fed them, done whatever. But I carried them out there and I introduced them to the racers.
Yeah.
That's where they need to be.
These is the guys. These is the guys right here.
Right.
When this is the guy right here. When Super ATV sends Kevin and Jordan and those guys out, I do my dead level best to introduce them to the racers. And Kevin and Jordan, you can't see it, but they put together a absolutely phenomenal Ranger for us. We posted some pictures of it last week when we got it.
We'll get some pictures of it and put over this.
But they've done a fabulous job with that Ranger. They've done a memorial on the back of it with my son. And when I went up to Madison last week. They run it together anyway. When I got to Madison to pick it up, I expected a beautiful machine because they always put out something wonderful. But when they brought that thing out there, it's kind of hard for me to hold it together.
Yeah. Super ATV has always been. When I started in business, they were the first company I got with to sell because it made sense. And we have been. I started racing in 19, and Super ATV's been on board with us ever since. And now that they've acquired the Keller, we were sponsored by Keller and Super ATV. So Super has always been good to us.
Right.
Anytime we post anything on social media, they're the first ones to share it. Corey Jackson is our contact up there. He does a lot of the marketing, social media marketing and stuff like that. He always takes really good care of us. Those guys, man.
They're second to none. I mean, they're the reason
it's
why.
It's hard to beat.
They're the reason why they are what they are. From their point of sale to the way they come to market to their warranties, customer service. Everything about that company is top tier. They are the cream of the off-road industry in what we do. And, I tell them that all the time. They are the cream of the crop. You got a problem with Super. See, the thing about it with us is I own Dry Creek Power Sports. And we were a Super ATV dealer for years, one of their top dealers for years. Now we don't actually do any service work anymore in our shop. I just run out of time.
Yeah, it's easy to understand.
I just don't have time. But anytime, there was never one time where I ever questioned whether they were going to take care of something or whether it was going to be on time or whether it was going to fit when it got there. I mean, they do a phenomenal job with it. And I built a relationship with Tyler and with that whole family there. They Colin out there in Texas. Colin, we love you. That whole family there, they just Cheyenne, my local rep. They're just second to none.
Yeah, like I said, they've always been good to us. They've been good to me personally, and as far as the store goes, if I ever have any problems, you just give them a call and it's done.
You can look back at my buggy and tell just what kind of personal relationship we got.
Yeah,
I love those guys.
They're good guys. All right, Tony. Anything coming big?
We got a mud race, drag race, going on October the 21st down at Sabine Offroad in Texas, Burkeville, Texas. I believe that's how you say that. That'll be our last regular season stop, and then we're just waiting to get all the goodies together for the championship race at Top Trails.
That's what I was going to ask you about. I think I seen that the other day with New Year's.
Yes, sir. I'm doing everything I can to bring. I'd love to bring all off-road disciplines to that. I'd love to see the mud race, the championship race. I'd love to see us do another drag race, a hill race, a short course race.
Yeah.
If we could put 4 or 5 disciplines together right there, I think it would be. I think at that level it's something that's unheard of. Only other place I know that's really doing something on that level is maybe, Jason Robinette and his crew up in Mid America.
That's turning into the Mecca up there.
Yeah.
He's got a stranglehold on the Midwest for sure. If you do end up doing a hill race, you holler. I know some guys. We'll see if we might can't get down there. That'd be a hell of a place to spend New Year's.
What would be cool is to come out for a hill race and something that we've kind of been limited to at Top Trails up until recently, because I bought in Elon Musk's Starlink, so I've got internet capability back here. So maybe we can get you back here and you can commentate a hill race for us.
Hey, we'll do it, bud. We'll do it. I'll sit back here and yap for days. Can't nobody usually shut me up. We'll get her. All right, thanks for stopping by, man. We'll let you get back at it. Get over and sell some high lifter parts.
Appreciate you, boss.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Have a good one. It's good to see you.
Dude.
Yes.
All right, guys. That was Tony again from Southern Bounty Series. He's working with high lifter now. He's been our neighbor all weekend. Couldn't ask for a better guy. I've been hanging out with us this Thursday night. Our next event for us, I guess it is going to be Bikini Bottoms.
That's right.
So hopefully we'll talk to you guys before then. Try and do a little. We may do some Bikini Bottoms history or something.
Oh yeah.
So we need to brush up on.
So there's been 12 years of Bikini Bottoms, and I'm sure we can come up with a story or two.
Oh, there's some good ones. All right, guys. We'll see you hopefully next week. All right, guys. Back again for this week's edition of The Rundown. We're back in Rock Life Studio in Monticello, Kentucky. Had a good weekend down in Alabama. Hate we missed the races out in Rush Springs Ranch in Missouri. We will see you guys at Bikini Bottoms here in a couple weeks. October 6th and 7th, our next event at Bikini Bottoms in Dyersburg, Tennessee. That is the last event that's ever going to be held at Bikini Bottoms. Last weekend it's ever going to be open. So if you're able to come check out this iconic park before it is shut down for good. All right, we're going to get right into it with the youth class. Coming in with the win is Cameron Delaney with Brantley Havens in second, and Ava Garner took third place in Missouri. Brantley's got the points lead with Dallas Heckley in second and Clara Hoback sitting in third. Vin class, Don Curtis with the win, Charles Chris in second, and Justin Hoback in third. Charles has your series points lead with 770 points. Justin Hoback 608, Don Curtis with 484. UTV stock class saw its first repeat winner of the year, with Brandon Davis taking the win with a perfect 103 for the weekend. Braden Upchurch in second, Jay Stortz in third. For your season, Brandon is your points leader with 716. Braden Upchurch in second with 681, and Daniel Heckley with 602. UTV Unlimited class saw the 8th straight podium for Clay Kaysen, getting redemption at Rush Springs after his bad crash out there last year. Cooper Bentley in second. Madison King done a good job in third place. For the season, Clay Kaysen is your leader with 753 points. Brandon Davis with 648. And Cooper Bentley in third with 608. UTV Bounty saw Madison get the win with Josh Krapinski in second and Cody Kaysen in third. For the season, Casey Howell is in first with 473 points, and Cooper Bentley is closing in quick with 468. Madison King is in third with 420. Big Bouncer saw Daniel Heckley take the win, Brandon Davis in second, and Matt Schusler in third place. For the season, Brandon has 735 points. Daniel Heckley was 650, and Cooper is in third with 541. Guys, don't forget, Bikini Bottoms, October 6th and 7th. Rock Life's going to be there. That's our title event for the season. We're going to blow it out. We're going to have a big time. Final event at Bikini Bottoms. Guys, do not miss it. We'll see you next week. This episode is brought to you by Rock Life Offroad. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.